Hey, this is Rob Anspach. I'm with Gerry Oginski once again, and we're going to talk about live versus pre-recorded video. I think most of the time, because I think it's something that still scares people to death, this whole live thing. So I think that the comfort level is still in pre-recorded videos where you can edit, but yeah, you can do more live stuff with dogs.
How are you, Rob?
Good. See, we can always edit that one out.
Well, having your dog in the video is actually great, and I've actually done some video stuff using my dog because I think people get to form a bond, and they see that you're real, and they see that you're authentic.
Right.
Most attorneys would never, ever grab their dog and start, talking to someone in a video about their dog.
Right.
But you can use it. For example, you can use them as a prop to begin talking about dog bite cases, to begin talking about, how to protect your dog or things that you deal with on a daily basis. So as cute as they are, as cute as he is, it's a great way to use them quickly to show that you're human, to show that you're authentic. That's a great thing. You can't often get that when you're doing a sterile video,
right?
A pre-recorded video. So
yeah, with a pre-recorded though, you have the luxury of going back and editing it to making it a little bit more perfect, versus a live where you don't always, you can't control the background, the situation as much.
Correct. And one of the things that that I personally like about the pre-recorded videos is that you get to control everything. You get to control your lighting, your audio. You get to control the content. And if you make mistakes, no big deal. You go and edit them out later on, and now you get a finished, polished version of whatever content you want to put out there. So I think it has, and I think it still has, a lot of great benefit for people to do it and do it well. On the other hand, you compare what video was like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. The bar was much, much lower because there was not a lot of content out there. People were just starting to learn about video. And so slowly over time, as the quality of video got better and better, the content got better, and the bar was set higher. So now the quality, in terms of mechanical quality, people expect to have a perfect video. You expect to get, high definition video. Not 4K video, but high definition. And if you're using crappy cameras and crappy equipment and you're not up at that level, people look at it and say, that looks like it was filmed, 10 years ago. I'm not going to watch that. It's not relevant today. So then you transition and say, wait a second, what's this live video stuff? And, you and I have chatted about this, and I'm just starting to experiment with live video. And it's scary. It is scary for people who have never done it. Because if you've never done any video, standing in front of a camera and talking is a little bit awkward. And if you're not sure exactly what you want to talk about and what message you want to get out, it's even more awkward. So now combine all that with the fact that, hey, this is a live video, and now you have to come up with content and think off the cuff, think on your feet, and you want to be entertaining, you want to be interesting, because if you just sit there and go, nobody's going to watch you. It's not fun and it's not interesting. So there are a lot of interesting challenges, I think, with live video. But here's something that is very, very important that everybody watching should be aware of. Facebook is giving so much weight to live video. It has really almost pushed back the pre-recorded stuff, so that all of the live video stuff that people are doing now comes up on the news feeds. They are the first things that show up. Facebook is making a huge push towards live video. And if you haven't seen it already in your Facebook stuff, you certainly will if you pay attention to it. And Mark Zuckerberg even came out and talked about the importance of live video. And all of these other people who focus on Facebook metrics also are saying, for this year, 2017, this is what people will be focusing on. And just to emphasize the point, YouTube has now created their own version of live video where they are now again trying to push this ahead of Facebook. And they've even come up with a way to try and monetize for the person who's creating the content, to monetize and make money off of viewers who are watching by interacting. And that's the whole goal. These videos are designed to get people to interact. So you're creating this great live piece of content. People are watching. It's not the Trump news conference that we just saw yesterday that went on for 75 minutes and, everybody in the world is watching and taking clips out of. That's not what most people are doing, and they're not going to get that type of viewership.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Trump, because I think that is one thing that helped him win the election, was that he embraced Facebook Live technology to the point where everything he was doing was, on Facebook.
Right.
As a live event.
Right.
And people look back and they say, well, so what? Well, so what is that, he changed history. He was the guy, reported to have not even gotten anywhere close to the election. He wasn't supposed to win, and yet he did. So, he's utilizing these technologies that are, I think people look, you and me, we've embraced this. I've when I first started doing this, I must have watched hundreds of your videos to get an idea. And, the pre-recorded stuff is great, but the live stuff is where I think I get a better type of clientele, because they see me in a more real, raw environment. And, they're seeing the real me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not clean. It's not crisp. It's not edited. It is who I am. And, they can ask questions.
That's very important.
They can interact with me in real time. And I think that's the big thing. I think probably for you and teaching lawyers how to do video, the transition from going from an edited, produced video to a live segment is kind of hard, because it's a different type of animal. They're not used to being real people. They're used to clinging to a script or having some type of format that they follow, and now they have to kind of ad-lib everything.
That's right. And you raise an excellent point. You said that people get to see you raw. They get to see you real. And that's one of the benefits of this type of live feed, this live video. But the problem for attorneys, I think, is that many of them are stiff and formal. And they think they need to be absolutely perfect, buttoned up, tightened up, formal and stiff. And if you're not dressed up formally, then they can't talk to you, and they can't be sitting behind their desk across from you. I think a lot of attorneys are fearful that if they're being normal, if they're being themselves or authentic, or what goes on when they get home and they take off their suit and tie and they put on a sweatshirt and jeans, that's what people want to see. You're still giving the same exact content, but you're showing a different side of you. Mm-hmm. It's a more natural, more conversational, more friendly, inviting method of communicating. But one big challenge I see for lawyers especially is that a lot of these lawyers are boring. They are. Okay? You talk to some of these people, it's mind-boggling how dry they are. Even if they're a specialist, even if they know their topic of law so well, but many of them can't communicate their message well. And I tell them, I said, listen, you have to talk to somebody as if you're having a great conversation, you're taking them to the bar, and you sit down with them on a Friday night. Or you're sitting at your home, at your kitchen table, and now it's a Sunday morning, you're having a cup of coffee together, and now you're just having a friendly chat. And they tell you something devastating, and you turn to them and now have a great conversation. Say, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Let me explain. Instead of citing these cases and citations and all this other formal nonsense that your viewer doesn't care about, they don't want to know about, just have a conversation like you and I are doing now. That's the authentic nature of these live videos.
And you know, if you're watching this and you don't know how to do a live video, start it out with a question and answer session. Get people to give you questions, and all you're doing is answering them. You're going to be more real. You're not going to be stiff, because now people are giving you the question, and all you're doing is giving them the answer back. And you know, that will help you. You know, after you do a couple live videos, that will help you become more natural at it. People don't need to give you questions. You can just come right out and say, this is what we're going to talk about today. And it's going to be easier. And, you know, you did a great thing coming out with that. I guess it was the show that you were doing. And the first episode was like an hour long, but people were coming in and they were watching it. And, you know, that when you're used to doing, you know, 4 or 5 minute videos, and then you switch to a 1 hour live Facebook presentation, you know, that is just phenomenal.
That was actually an experiment. And I didn't know if it would work. I didn't know what I would accomplish with it. And it's funny you say that. I didn't know if I could talk that long and, you know, be engaging and interesting and entertaining at the same time, because you want people who are coming in at different times to be able to pick up on things and not just see an attorney boringly read some nonsense. So I was trying to make it interesting. And for me, what I was doing was using a real case, one that had finished, and showing the highlights, showing the dramatic points in that case, and then turning it into an opportunity to get the viewers to interact with me so that they could actually see what happens during a real cross-examination, and to understand the mindset of what I'm doing or what another attorney is doing when now they are focusing on attacking a witness for a particular reason, or how to get around a strategy that now they're using to prevent us from getting evidence in, or whatever it is. But to give the viewer the mindset of, hey, I'm not just telling you something about me. I'm telling you something that happened that's real, a real case, real testimony, real cross-examination, real results. And that's so much different than simply saying, we handle these cases for 25 years, come to me because I'm great. It's like night and day. So here I was reading something, and you know, when you're reading something, you can read it very dryly, or you can animate it and get excited and hit the dramatic high notes. And so that's what I was trying to do. And next thing I know, 45 minutes go by in my thing, and I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm doing this 45 minutes. And then I keep going. I could just go on and on. And that's the really cool thing. Oftentimes, you may not know when to stop.
Right.
And then you wonder, okay, do people really want to sit on here and watch this for an hour? The reality is they may not, right, but they'll come in and watch different segments of it. Mm-hmm. And then you can repurpose that content. You can put it up on YouTube, and you can take segments of it and edit it and put them up on social media, which is what I've seen you do many, many times, which works really well. And because not everybody's going to watch it live.
No, and that's the thing. You know, people need to learn how to repurpose their content. You know, this isn't rocket science. You know, and just because your fans, friends, or followers might have seen something on Facebook about you, you know, maybe your other audiences haven't seen it yet on YouTube or on LinkedIn. So pull it off of Facebook, put it on YouTube, and now it's searchable through the whole Google network.
Right.
You know, and it's so now you've repurposed your live event. So now it's, you know, being able to be seen, you know, for future reference.
And I've noticed that those shows that I did live are getting a great number of views on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And people searching for information, now they find it, and they're watching a lot of that. Right. I don't know that they're watching the entire thing, but they're watching a good portion of it. Mm-hmm. And so that has a lot of benefits as well. Right. So once you create something like that, now you can build on it. And I plan on doing more of those live shows and then interviewing people so that now they can demonstrate and highlight the stuff that they've done while I'm talking and interacting with them. And we actually, what my goal is to do role playing. So they're going to send me the transcript, and I will be the witness, and they'll be the attorney cross-examining. And now it's going to be as if you are in court seeing this, but it's actually a recreated demonstration to highlight and show people, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Here's a perfect example, and here's the reasoning behind. And so it doesn't matter whether you're an attorney or a small business owner. If you can show your consumer, if you can show the viewer the behind-the-scenes rationale of why you do what you do, or how you create a product, and how you get this out to the consumer, now they have a better understanding that you're not just there to sell them something. You're there to help them. They've got a problem. You have the solution. Let me explain to you why the solution works. Let me explain to you what solutions may be better or worse. And now you show that you're a human being. It's so much different that way.
You had touched on transcription, and this is something that you and I both do. You know, when a video is done, have it transcribed. Now you have the transcription of the video, and you can use that for a blog article. And now your video is, finding audiences on YouTube and Facebook, and your transcription is finding audiences on your blogs and your LinkedIn's, and so you're getting people to come to you, whether video or transcription, from one product that you just expanded multiple times.
Don't forget stripping the audio and now putting that on iTunes and other places. So just from one particular video, you've got the blog posts, the articles, the FAQs, the audio, the transcript, and all that content is now out there for people who are searching, and they will find you, which is remarkable.
So yeah, like I said, this is not rocket science. It's just, it takes a little bit of thinking, a little bit of time to take that one thing that you produced and have it made into multiple things. And it just, but people aren't doing it because, one, they're either afraid to do video, or they keep saying that they don't have time. Well, you've produced how many videos now on YouTube?
Coming up to 2,500.
So I know that you don't have time. But no, if you can find time to squeeze out videos here and there over the last couple of years to make 2,500 videos, then people can find time to make a video a week.
Right. Absolutely. And even if it's something that you're doing, let's say, I wouldn't recommend doing it in the car, and I've criticized attorneys who do this in the car because it can be dangerous, so stay away from that. If you're stopped somewhere, you're taking a lunch break, take out your iPhone, do a live video. You just come out of court. Now you want to tell the world about not specifically the details of that case, but in general. You want to have a teaching point about what you just learned, and you want to explain something to them. It's a great opportunity to take out your phone, get on Facebook Live. Next thing you know, you've got this great piece of content. It doesn't have to be an hour long. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. Okay? Show people where you are. Hey, I'm in front of the courthouse. I just came out. I just had a problem involving this client. We went up in front of the judge, and now here's what happened. You don't have to reveal details. No names are needed. But just the fact that you are there explaining. All of a sudden, people see you and like, holy cow, this guy does it. This guy is in it. I see that he does it. I just don't have to take him for his word and say that he does this every day. It's show and tell. So go ahead. People love show and tell. It hasn't changed since grade school. And Facebook Live and other live video allows you to do that.
One of the things about Facebook is that it will tell you it's propagating your feed with potential viewers. Well, I don't want to stick around long enough for me, to get an audience. I just start going right into my talk. Because honestly, if you're going to wait around, and I've watched videos where someone sat there for 4 minutes before an audience came in. Well, in 4 minutes, I've got already told my story, ended the video, and gone on and lived my life. Well, record your live video. When you're done. Then you can download it and put it on YouTube.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have an immediate audience. You will have an audience later when people come back and watch the replay or watch it on YouTube or so as soon as Facebook says 3, 2, 1, start recording.
That's right.
You know, and I do think though that some lawyers and doctors take privacy a little too far. So they're more concerned with the privacy aspect of maybe mentioning someone's name or mentioning this or mentioning the case that they're working on. And it paralyzes them to even try to get on a video. But I think you've proven after 2,500 videos that, you know, there are phrases and things that you can say without actually mentioning a client or a case.
Yeah, because in each thing that you want to get out, there's only one teaching point, one or two at most. So talk about the teaching point rather than, hey, let me tell you what this person did and what this company did. And you don't have to ever name these people or the companies. It's not necessary to get across this teaching point. Now, going back for 1 second to being authentic, and, you know, attorneys and doctors and business people are afraid of letting their hair down, being more comfortable. Just look at where I am now. You and I are shooting this video. You've got your bookcase, you've got a couch in the back. My very first video was done right here in this room. And I was terrified, totally terrified, that people would see what was behind me. Okay? I didn't think it was professional for people to see that I was shooting video in my home office with books all around, the bookcase, and things may not have been perfect. So I put up a gray projector screen behind me so that people couldn't see where I was. They just saw this blah gray thing. And as time went on, I began to realize this was ridiculous. Okay, why shouldn't people see that I'm not sitting in front of a legal bookcase or in front of a conference room or, you know, at my desk at work? It made no difference. And so I quickly got rid of that because I wanted people to see that I was in different places. And the same thing with this live video. You want to see people in their natural environment. You want to see them that they're in the midst of doing something. And hey, it's just like you and me. You and I are doing something, creating a piece of useful information, helping people understand the benefits of this live video, of using video altogether. And we're doing it in a great way that simply communicates a message without being formal and stiff and uncomfortable. And the more people begin to realize how you can use that, all of a sudden, you know, your comfort level increases and you begin to do more and more because it's a cycle. If you feel comfortable doing it, you're going to say, hey, people are watching it, they're leaving good comments, let me do another one, right?
I've interviewed people where they've had stuff in the background where I can't see beyond them. And I'm thinking, what are they hiding? You know, where are they at? You know, I'm coming from my basement office. It's not the prettiest. I don't care. This is who I am. You know, this is what I'm working with. And, you know, if people are so judgmental on myself or my rocking chair or my tripod or wherever, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm the one that's presenting them the information that they're learning.
Right.
So, you know, just like my books, they're not perfect, but they give people information that they need to have to go out there and make money or do something or, you know, be better at social media. And you're doing the same thing. You're giving people a better understanding of who Gerry Oginski is. You know, he loves dogs. He loves to read. He has a family, you know, and he loves Mac computers because I can see one in the background. So, you know, it gives people an idea of who you are and why they need to trust you.
That's absolutely right. And besides that, it's fun because it gives you an opportunity to talk, and, you know, you can talk about things that you know of and that you want to help people with. And I tell attorneys all the time, I said, listen, you have this great knowledge. I think that you have an obligation to share that knowledge with people who are looking for it. Okay? And if you don't, you're depriving yourself of the opportunity to help someone. And once they look at it that way, it changes them a little bit, because previously they're just looking at it as, hey, a client comes in, they sit down in the office, I talk to them, I interview them, this is what I do. No. Talk to people. Chat with them. Ask them about their problems. See how you can help them. Okay, you may not be able to help everybody, and that's fine, but talking to them. So using video is a great way to do that. And the more conversational you are, the easier it is for people to understand. And I'll tell you one other thing. So you and I are dressed comfortably now, okay? You're wearing a sweatshirt, I'm wearing just a sweater with a t-shirt. In my videos, my pre-recorded videos, I would dress the spectrum of going from wearing a t-shirt, being in the desert in Israel, to being dressed in a suit and tie. And I go back and forth.
I think some of my favorite videos of you are in your winter coat outside. I think the one was when your tree fell down and you were explaining that, and you weren't in a lawyer type situation. You were in a backyard. You were being real, and that one I thought was professionally, done. Not in the sense that it was edited or this or that. It was just it got me to trust you more as an attorney than if you were wearing a suit and tie.
And that's what a lot of people are afraid of. They're afraid that if they're not professional looking, that what will their colleagues think? Oh no, I can't do that. This is not what other attorneys do. This is not what other doctors do. We just don't do that. Okay, so don't.
Right.
Other people are going to jump on the bandwagon, start doing it, and get more viewers to come watch, get more people to realize, hey, I like you instead of you. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. Well, you're not advertising to other lawyers. You're advertising to, whether you're a personal injury attorney, you're a divorce attorney, you're a business attorney, you're advertising to your audience. Not really advertising, but you're trying to build an audience and show them that all the reasons that they need to call you, whether they can trust you, whether that you have the knowledge, whether you have, the common sense, or even, that you have a personality, and if all they see you in is a stiff suit, presenting stuff that 99% of other lawyers are doing, it gives them no reason to trust you.
That's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, what about Snapchat? What about Instagram stories? How do you see that progressing into something that lawyers and doctors can use? I mean, I've seen, a couple doctors that I know that I help, they're really engaging in the Snapchat. They're bringing audiences behind the scenes of, into the OR, into their backyards and into, their cars and stuff. But I don't see too many lawyers using that technology yet.
They don't. And I think for two reasons. One, they're afraid of it. Two, they don't understand it. And I fall into the category of not understanding it. Honestly, because my kids use Snapchat all the time. And they're on there sending these short little video clips and messaging, and Instagram once in a while I'll put something up. But for me personally, I don't get it. And I don't think that my clients, my ideal clients who are looking for information, are on that platform. People used to say, oh, you're not going to find medical malpractice clients on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I said, well, let me test that and see if I can. Okay. I think that for what Snapchat is designed for, I don't think people are on there actively searching for the information that I'm putting out, that I'm creating. It's not a great platform for me personally, and I don't think many attorneys would find a way to effectively use it. It's not like you've got the greatest new product and it's the hottest thing, it's going viral, and people are sharing that and commenting on it and taking videos of it as they're using it. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit different. Instagram, you have a little bit more leeway. You can chat, you can leave comments, you can put up short videos. And it's funny, I asked my son the other day, I said, is there any way for me to take a 3-minute video on YouTube and put it up on Instagram? And he said, no, you have to create a native file, put it on your computer, and then upload that, or to your iPhone, and then upload that. So that's another few steps for me to then try and do, in addition to the other stuff that I'm doing.
Well, here's one thing, though, that with Snapchat you can do. If a client has a question, they can do a short video. and send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can respond back to them with either a text or a video. That is one way, but you can do the same thing with WhatsApp. You can do the same thing with texting. You know, at some point, your phone becomes an umbilical cord straight to your client.
Right.
Because now they have access to you 24 hours a day. So
and that can be dangerous.
Yeah.
In the sense of you don't want to give people access to you at all hours of the night and day, but at the same time, you want them to know that you're accessible. I just saw an article this morning I was reading involving a gynecologist in Manhattan who does these vaginal reconstruction surgeries for cosmetic purposes. Okay, he's a plastic surgeon actually. And he says that he texts with his patients all the time. Now, you should know that insurance companies who insure these doctors for medical malpractice, they tell these doctors over and over again, do not text patients, okay? Because you do a number of things by having that open, immediate communication. Mm-hmm. Your avenue of liability is constantly open. Patients may misinterpret something that you say, which has a different connotation than if you were telling them that face-to-face. There is a constant log of everything you communicate with them. So you always have to be careful about what you're saying in your text messages or emails. But they always tell these doctors, the insurance companies tell the doctors, it is a terrible way to communicate with patients. But some doctors find it to be convenient, and some of them feel that by having this ongoing communication for small, minor things is a better trade-off than not having it.
Well, I read some insurance companies are also switching to having doctors on call to do video diagnostic or diagnosis, which then presents, other problems because they're not seeing your full body. They're only getting a portion of what they should know from you.
Right. Correct.
So, I think we're getting into more of what we saw in the Jetsons cartoon from the 70s, where video is just instant and we can communicate faster with people. But it's opening up also, a Pandora's box of problems that we have to face.
That's true. I mean, my kids will FaceTime me once in a while, and it's nice to see them on FaceTime, especially when they're off in college and, you just get to talk to them once in a while, but now you can actually see what they look like, and you can get a better feel for what's going on in their lives. Do you want to do that with your clients? Well, you have to make that choice. And is that something you want them to be able to do at 2 o'clock in the morning, and now you're answering the phone all groggy after just waking up, and, that may be something for you. But going back to the original topic that you mentioned at the beginning, is live video something that you should get into? And the answer most definitely should be yes. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be ideal, doesn't have to be definite format. But the other thing is you should plan well ahead of time what it is that you're going to cover in your live talk. Okay. Even if you plan on doing it for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, you should have some key points, some key bullet points that you want to cover. And you're going to see people on the screen, viewers that are showing up, and you should take a moment to stop and actually acknowledge them. Hey, Rob, thanks so much for joining me. I see that you're taking time away from doing your other stuff. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you have questions. And this way you begin to have that dialogue. You begin to interact with the viewers, and that's what all of these social media sites that are encouraging live video want you to do. The more you encourage people to do that, the more they get involved in what you have to say, the more they like it. Mm-hmm. And it becomes much more interesting when you're involved rather than passively watching.
Right. When was your first video? When did you first put a video up? Was it 2009, 10?
6.
2006.
6? Yeah, it was either the end of 2006 or the beginning of 2007.
So in 11 years, we've gone from pre-recorded videos to live videos. And I think the biggest challenge for most people is the environment that they're in. You know, is it conducive to do a live video? Is it conducive to, because if I'm out in the park and there's very little people around me, that's fine. Pull out the camera and start shooting. If I'm in a mall where I can't control the people coming up to me, it's not a very good place to do a video, you know. I also think that these devices by themselves are great, but we still need an external microphone, you know, because sometimes they just don't pick up the sound the way it's supposed to. These are designed to pick up, you know, more of a shotgun, you know, mic where you're getting noises from everywhere.
Right.
You need that lapel mic kind of control, you know, give that voice that you have more of the authority. So how do you do that with an iPhone?
Well, there are different pieces of equipment you can use. There are shotgun mics. You have, hang on, I'll get it for you. Well, you have little contraptions like these, which are little mini tripods, where you fit your phone right in here, and now you put this on your desk, and now you can begin to attach accessories, a microphone. You can put a light up on top, just so that you have illumination, just so you have good quality audio. And this is so much better than standing there, you know, holding your phone up, thinking that, okay, this is great. Well, yeah, it's good for about 30 seconds, but the problem is you're now going to start shaking because you can't keep it up straight and hold it up for a long period of time without that wobble. And if you do that, you're going to induce nausea in everybody who watches, and nobody will want to watch it. So get yourself a little rigged so that you can put it on a little tripod, and now it sits still. Once it sits still, now you can go ahead and figure out, okay, what kind of microphone do I want? You can attach a little tiny shotgun microphone. They have something called the Rode Mic Me or Mini, I forgot what it is. Rode, R-O-D-E, makes some great little microphones, and they're different price points, all the way from, you know, $65 or $70 up to a couple $100. And it's perfect because you plug it into your iPhone, it automatically picks up the sound, and next thing you know, you've got great quality audio. You can also go for a lavalier mic, something that's wireless. But now you're talking about going anywhere from $400 to $700. That's way up here. And then you can talk about wired microphones. A wired microphone can be $10. It can be, you know, $50. It all depends on what your budget is and what you want to accomplish. So my best suggestion is, look, start with what you have. If you don't have anything, start with something basic. You don't need all the bells and whistles. Try it out. Experiment. See how it sounds. See how it looks. And then you can always upgrade from there. And you can always try and buy used equipment too, so you can save some money.
You know, let's talk about frequency, because, you know, I think that, you know, starting out, one video a week is probably all they need. Now, if they're going to get on live video and start, you know, blasting out live messages, you know, a couple times a day, you know, it becomes more like the Truman Show, and people are going to get annoyed with you.
Yes.
You know,
I did love The Truman Show. Is a great movie.
It is, but, you know, I don't need to see everybody's, you know, 24 hours of their life on Facebook.
Right.
You know,
and for those people who think that it's okay to do a live video about the food that you're eating, don't do it. Don't talk about the mundane things that you have to do each and every day. Okay, now I'm getting in the car. I'm going to go run some errand. Who cares? Don't do it. Okay? These are designed to attract people who are interested in what you have to say. And if you start inundating them with crap that everybody doesn't care about, you're going to turn off and turn away so many people. It's a great point. So frequency, yeah, start with, let's say, once a week, okay? And keep it to that. And again, if you want to do more, try it out. See what kind of responses you get. Do it twice a week. But don't do it 5 times a day, because people won't care. And you honestly can't have that much great information that you're talking for 5 times a day about stuff that, I don't know. I don't think people will be into it.
I like your model. I mean, and I think your model when it comes to pre-recorded videos and live videos, messages work great. I mean, you pose a question, you introduce yourself, you answer the question, tell people how to get a hold of you. It's a simple format, but it can be worked in live or pre-recorded. That once people get that format down, they just have to say, okay, what question do I want to talk about? They answer that question. And it becomes more of an educational piece and not a sales piece.
Right.
And I think that will sell better than trying to get on there and say, I've been practicing for 25 years. I got this great bookcase. You ought to come down and have me represent you. Nobody gives a shit. The way you do it, it's natural. It gives people reasons why they need to contact you.
I wanted to ask you, because I know I've seen you do videos or post videos of some of the doctors that you've worked with, and they show the actual surgery or behind the scenes involving the surgery. Do you find that turns people off where they actually see the gory, detailed surgery, or do you think that it helps people understand what actually happens?
Well, we had a video that it was a gastric sleeve doctor, and he was removing the 80% of the stomach that they remove during surgery, and they do it laparoscopically. So when he pulls out the remnant of the stomach, he pulls it out from a hole. And some people were saying, wow, I never knew that's how they did it. Other people were saying, that's gross. Don't even post stuff like that. But the thing is, that video went super viral. We had 4,000 people share it. It was seen by 1.5 million people.
Wow.
One video did more traffic than the 400 videos he has on YouTube. And it did it in 2 weeks. I mean, 2 week time, it just went poof, and it's still getting traffic.
That's
and
great.
That happened in October. People are still seeing it. They're still commenting on it. We just posted a video where it was very similar. He pulled out the remnant of the stomach, and then he split it in half, and he showed all the ripples inside the stomach where people could see, this is how the stomach works. And people, again, I don't want to see that stuff. Don't stop posting that stuff. But the thing is that he's going after a certain type of clientele. These clientele are usually morbidly obese, and they've tried hundreds of diets. They're not losing weight. They go to him for a reason. They go to him to have this surgery so that they can become thinner. And his average client is losing 100 pounds. And, so these videos tell the story of what's going to happen inside the OR. Some doctors will not do that. There's a doctor in Miami, plastic surgeon. He does all his videos, either Snapchat or live video. Now, he does cover up some of the private areas, and they never show faces, but they do show, bloody stuff. Now, the weight loss doctor, you never see blood. I mean, the procedure you probably get a teaspoon of blood. That's it. It's just very, very controlled. But the plastic surgeon, you see, I couldn't even watch it. It was just after 2 minutes, I'm like, this I can't. Nope. But yeah, people are either turned on by that type of stuff or they're turned off. So you gauge your audience. But we try to put up one video like that every single week. But we mix it up. So, he posts about 4 times a day on Facebook. But, there's either a question of the day, there's either some type of graphic. There's once a week he does a video show where he answers questions. So he tries to gain or get enough engagement from the different posts, because not everybody's going to respond to the same stuff.
Right.
So you try to keep it different. And so if you're just constantly posting videos, people are going to turn off. If you're posting a mix of questions or graphics or, testimonials or before and after pictures, people are going to say, wow, that's cool. I really like that. Or, they're not going to watch this. They're going to do this. So you really have to, especially on social media, you have to mix it up because your audience is always different. So, once a week videos are great. But if you can do more, that's fantastic. But you still want to, you can't have every single piece of your content going out being video.
What do you think? What's been your experience with people who talk about things that are going on in the news? And I'm not focusing so much political stuff. I'm talking about, let's say that some event goes on that's related to the type of work that they do, and now they take a stand and take a position either in favor of or against whatever is happening in the news. Do you find that people are reluctant to do that because they don't want to get pushback from viewers saying, hey, I don't like your position, I don't like what you think, and now they start leaving bad comments?
Well, here's the thing is that social media has, I think, shifted the culture a little bit where everybody has to have an opinion on something. So, we used to say, yeah, you know what, niche your business down to the exact type of client that you want to work with and know when to say no and to say, I don't want to work with you, I want to work with you. But now you say, well, I don't want to work with you, and you get sued. I think people are very tired of the backlash, and there are people out there on social media that have nothing to do all day long, and they're just looking for an excuse to be vocal. So when you say, well, I'm taking a stand, I finally say, you know what, I got the cojones, I'm going to take a stand, I'm going to stand for that person, I'm going to say, yep. And then you get ripped apart by the people that are on social media, and you're like, dude, I thought you were my friend.
Right.
Evidently not. Delete, unfriend, block. And now you get to the point where, oh, wow, I had these 5,000 fans and I cultivated for the last 3 years. Now I'm down to 2,000 because nobody likes me. So, but on the flip side, if you don't take a stand, people will never know who you are, what your personality is. Are you a churchgoer? Do you do this? Do you do that? Do you belong to this organization? I find that the people that can come to you in such a way that say, wow, I didn't know that you went to that church. I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you went to Boy Scouts. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's talk about that.
Right.
Let me get to know you a little bit better because we have these same personalities. And those are the types of clients that when they come to you because of something that they know that you belong to or do, you're going to have a stronger type of clientele.
That's true. I find that attorneys are very hesitant to want to take a stand in public on social media, especially in their videos. They're afraid because they're afraid of getting backlash. They're afraid of what their colleagues will think, and they don't want it out there so that, let's say they're a trial attorney, and now they're trying a case in a similar type of issue surrounding some big media thing that they took a stand on. They're afraid some juror who now may be sitting on their case is going to find that and realize that this guy is pro whatever it is, or he's against this type of thing. And that, I think, creates a lot of problems for attorneys, especially the ones that I've talked to, because they are very, very hesitant to put themselves out there and take a stand. I think that's the wrong position for them to take. I think I agree with you that you've got to take a stand. Doesn't matter what they are. I mean, people will come to you because they like you. People will come to you because they trust you. Whether you belong to this organization, whether you have these beliefs or whatever, people have to make that decision. And obviously there are lots of choices, but if you don't take that stand, people, I think, have a different view of you. If you stand up for yourself and say, I believe in this, this, and this, now people know you have a backbone. Okay, this is what I believe in. You can agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. You can come to me or not. But at least you've shown people, hey, these are the things that I believe in. And again, you don't have to put your entire life out there and explain every personal item that's going on. But instead, there are some issues that you may want to take a stand about, something that you deal with every day. So whether it's gun control or women's rights or whatever it is, because now at least you can identify, or at least your viewer can identify with you and form a greater bond And now they have some common ground with you to say, hey, Rob, I saw your video where you talked about how you belong to the Boy Scouts and your kids are in the Boy Scouts. Oh, I did this. And now all of a sudden you have that connection. Mm-hmm. And that's very powerful.
You know, I've noticed though lately is this war against Donald Trump.
Yep.
And you know, I'll post something and I'll have Europeans posting, oh, I don't care, you know, and they just blast me. And I'm like, you're not even in this country. Why are you doing this? Why do you have to be vocal? Do I go over and blast your prime minister? Do I blast your president? No.
Yeah.
So it becomes this game, and I'm like, did you come over here and vote?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I think that because of social media, we've become this global society that we just feel that, hey, oh, you know, that person, oh, they're responding. They must be really close to me. No, they're 14 hours over, you know, in Australia, or 6 hours ahead in Great Britain. So, you know, social media brings us together only to break us apart. So, but you have to take the good and the bad, and I think you have to learn to have a backbone. You have to learn to ignore some of the negative Nancys out there. Mm-hmm. You have to learn to go through your Facebook sometimes and say, you know what? I'm tired of him commenting or her commenting on all the stuff. They can just come off my feed, and you can block them, and that's okay. I think that we need to go through our Facebook or even any of our social media and do a cleanup every now and then. You know,
I did that after the election. Anybody who started talking about politics, delete, unfollow. I got rid, just like you said, I got rid of so many people because I didn't want that negativity. I don't need to hear about people ranting. You know, that's not why I'm on social media. You want to have a political conversation? Great, do it somewhere else. That's not why I'm there. So if you control, that's a great thing. You control what you do and see on social media, and, you know, take a stand. It doesn't have to be a popular stand, but be prepared that people are going to comment and leave nasty comments and say bad things. So you have to decide whether or not it's worthwhile and whether or not you can return the comments in an educational way, not a nasty and aggressive way. And the problem is, a lot of people can't. Once they get their goat up, all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're in this battle of nonsense. They're wasting half their day posting and reposting and commenting. And next thing you know, you've gone nowhere.
Yeah. You know, if I see that the person is post-baiting me, you know, and kind of goading me on for a response, and it's on my feed, I just delete it. You know what? I don't have time to be battling them back and forth in an argument on social media where everybody can see it.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what people need to realize, is that there are people out there that will post-bait you, and which means that they're going to comment on something in hopes to get a negative response back from you, and you don't need to respond. But you do need to remove it, because you don't want other people to jump on there and have an argument, you know, on your feed. Take them off.
Right.
You know, it's okay. But, you know, I think this was a very great hour that we spent together. A lot of great information was shared. And, you know, I do think that eventually dogs will have more say in what we do on video. So, you know,
I just woke him up.
your dog might get his own channel here soon.
Yeah, you never know.
24 hours of live doggy stuff. So,
all right, I have to run, Rob. Thank you so much for having me on. It was great chatting with you.
And for anybody watching, I want you to go to Gerry's YouTube channel and his Facebook page, and I'll put links down. And get to know Gerry, because, you know, he's very educational. He's very inspiring, and what he's doing in the legal realm for videos is just amazing. And you've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Rob.
Go enjoy the weather.
All right.
Yeah.